Hello and welcome to another episode of Practical IT Midweek News. My name is Jeremy, your host, and today we've got some great news in store for you. First up is LinuxSecurity.com has an article about checking if your Linux system is infected with a virus. Talks about different utilities that you can use to check your Linux system. And while not as susceptible to viruses and other malware as other platforms, it's still good to check this out, especially if you are sharing files with people from those other platforms so they don't point the finger back at you. Next up, macOS Ventura 13.2 is rolling out for recent Macs, supported Macs. And one of the big features is that physical security keys, such as YubiKey and others, are now supported for AppleID. So if you're using a Mac, once this becomes available to you, you should get on the upgrade bandwagon and move on up to 13.2. Tails 5.9, the anonymous OS, has been released, which is mainly a bug fix from the previous 5.8 version, which was problematic for some users. So if you're using Tails, move on over to that. It also has the Linux kernel 6.0, which will improve support for graphics cards. Handbrake 1.6.1 is a bug fix release, and it addresses an issue with Intel QSV Hardware Detection on Linux and adds missing translations. So if you are encountering any issues with Handbrake, make sure to update to the latest version. LinuxUprising.com has a great article. If you are migrating to Linux from another platform, you may be using what I would call a legacy file sync application, OneDrive, and you may want to sync those files to your new Linux desktop, and OneDriveGUI makes it easy. It provides the graphical front end to a utility that is normally just a command line utility. So that will make it easier for users to switch over and get their files where they need them. And then, of course, you can switch to something like Nextcloud. The upcoming version of Firefox, version 1.10, will finally let you import your data from other alternative browsers such as Opera and Vivaldi, in addition to the more mainstream cousins. Version 1.10 release will be available on Valentine's Day, so all you lonely techies out there can spend the day upgrading. LinuxCapable.com has an article detailing how to install OBS Studio on Linux Mint versions 20 and 21. So if you're new to Linux Mint, it walks you through with the command lines in order to get this installed. In normal situations, a lot of people just wait for it to become available through the graphical package manager, but if you want to jump in and get your feet wet, this is a great guide to getting things installed. Make sure you follow the instructions that correspond to your release. Over in the Windows world, Microsoft has released version 1.4 of WinGet, the package manager for Windows. You can now use aliases for the subcommands that are commonly seen with Linux package managers. It also has support for zip-based packages and a few other things, such as searching for packages that are tagged as free and open source software. So maybe Microsoft secretly does love Linux. DXVK 2.1 is available for those gamers out there. This is the Vulkan-based implementation of Direct3D 9 through 11. It has added initial HDR support, has shader compilation improvements, and other changes. It has been released, but you may have to compile it from source code until it becomes available as a standard package and available for your distribution. And Wine 8.0 is now available for running Windows apps on Linux, as well as BSD, Solaris, and macOS systems. Various changes have been made to it, and once you can get your hands on it, go ahead and grab your copy. Currently, you would have to compile from source because it's a very fresh release, but it should be available in binary form real soon now. And last but not least, I'm adding something that will hopefully become commonplace going forward at the end of this news show, and that is the countdown to the end of life for Windows 10. And that is October 14th, 2025. So if your current PC is not able to run Windows 11, this will serve as a weekly reminder to start some planning for upgrading or replacing that machine before the security updates go away and you're left with an unsupported operating system. And that, my friends, will bring us to the end of another Midweek News. If you got something out of this, please take a moment to like and subscribe, and feel free to leave comments down below. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next week. Have a great day.